Whether you're at a restaurant or preparing a meal at home, knowing how to choose the right wine will always be useful. After doing extensive research and attending a few wine tastings myself, I'll provide you with a basic knowledge of wine and wine and food pairings. Two basic types of wines are white wines and red wines. All wines are manufactured with the help of grapes. However, different flavors are created by combining the basic wine with fruits or other additives and the aging process. The main differences between red and white wine is the juice used to make red wine includes the skins, stems, and seeds of red or black grapes. White wines can be made from colored grapes also, but only the clear juice is used to make the white wine. The general rule of thumb is that red wines tend to be heavier, or what is also referred to as a full-bodied wine, while the white wines are usually sweeter and lighter bodied. When a wine is prepared in a way that produces carbon dioxide, it is termed sparkling wine. The sparkling wine is what we know as champagne, and these wines can be further categorized into sweet or dry wine. Choosing a wine will be based on personal preference. To determine if you like a dry wine, a sweet wine, or something in between, there will be a few basic steps you should know according to the food and drink editor of thehealth.com. Step 1, know the basics. A dry wine is the natural fermenting of a grape. A sweet wine, on the other hand, is fortified with additives that stop the sugar in the grapes from turning to alcohol. Therefore, a sweet wine tastes more honey because they have a higher level of sugar, while a red wine is less candied because the grape has been allowed to fully ferment. Step 2, consider the type of wine you are tasting. Well-known varieties such as a Cabernet Sauvignon, a Merlot, and Chardonnay can be sweet or dry, depending on the type of grape. Third step, smell the wine. This will help you determine if the wine is sweet or dry. If you pick up scents of sugar, fruit, or honeysuckle, you may be dealing with a sweet wine. If you smell herbs, spices, wood, or yeast, you have a drier wine. Step 4, taste the wine. Your best indicator as to whether a wine is dry or sweet is your tongue. Sip the wine, let it rest in your tongue, swirl around your mouth, and then swallow and wait for the aftertaste. A dry wine usually has a strong taste on the tongue. A sweet wine tends to linger in your mouth for a moment after you swallow the liquid. Utilize the tasting notes. Sometimes it's difficult to determine the flavors in wines. Notes can help you discern among the flavors. For example, reading about hints of lemon and honey may help you better pinpoint specific flavors that you didn't know you were looking for. Most of all, buy wine that is well looked after. Extreme heat or cold, direct sunlight, and dramatic temperatures are not good for the wine. Make sure the wine is filled up to the neck of the bottle, the cork is not pushing out, and that there are no signs of leaking. Every wine glass will have a slightly different shape depending on the type of wine you are using it for. A red wine glass bowl will be fuller and rounder with a larger opening to allow you to smell into the glass to detect the aroma. The aromas of red wine demand a glass to be larger circled so the air can come in and ferment the aromas from it. A white wine glass will be more U-shaped and upright, allowing the aromas to be released while also maintaining a cooler temperature. A sparkling wine glass or a fluted glass will be upright and more narrow to retain the carbonation and capture the flavor of the beverage. A dessert wine should be smaller to detect the wine to the back of the mouth so that it is sweeter, or the sweetness doesn't overwhelm. You use a smaller glass. Or according to Robert Shreves, choosing a wine that complements your food can make a meal more enjoyable. Shreves says if you follow simple guidelines, the wine you choose should complement your meal just fine. The old-established laws of wine pairing dictate that red wine should be served with beef and pasta, and white with chicken and fish. If you have no other clue, then this may still be a good guideline. However, there are simple guidelines that give you a greater variety. The general guideline is to pair lighter-bodied wines with lighter foods, and heavy-bodied wines with heavier, more flavorful foods. When pairing foods such as seafood, baked or grilled chicken, turkey, mild cheese, and ham, a light wine is a good choice. If you wish to pair white wine with these foods, try a Riesling, a Sauvignon Blanc, a Pinot Grigio, or even a light Zinfandel. If a red wine is your preference, try a Beaujolais or a Burgundy. When pairing foods such as beef, game, barbecue chicken, barbecue pork, or pastas in a heavy red sauce, a full-bodied wine is a good choice. Try Cabernet Sauvignon, a Zinfandel, a Shiraz, or a Merlot. If you'd like to pair white wine, try Chardonnay Pinot Blanc. Foods and wines from the same region generally work well together over time. The people of that region generally consider one when creating the other. Therefore, Italian dishes usually work good with the Chianti, which is a classic Italian wine. Dessert wines, such as muscats, ports, and sherries, are very sweet wines. Muscats are the sweetest that are not recommended for pairing with any food. Ports and sherries, however, can be paired as long as the dessert isn't sweeter than the wine itself. Wine will turn sour in the mouth if paired with a sweeter food. If you're not comfortable experimenting with wine choices and simply want a guide of which wines generally are paired with which foods, here's a small list, as there are many varieties, that experts generally agree complement each other. Steak generally goes with a Cabernet Sauvignon, a Zinfandel, or Merlot. Salmon, generally a Riesling or a Beaujolais. Barbecued chicken or heavily marinated chicken goes well with a Zinfandel or a Shiraz. Grilled or baked chicken, you want a Riesling, a Sauvignon Blanc, or Chardonnay. Fish, Chardonnay or Beaujolais. Or turkey, try a white Burgundy, a Chardonnay, or a Beaujolais. Pasta and red sauce goes well with a Zinfandel, a Cabernet Sauvignon, or a Pinot Blanc. Pasta and white sauce goes well with a Sauvignon Blanc or a Merlot. Remember, these are only guidelines. If you find a wine that, in your opinion, completes a food, yet the pairing violates these guidelines, drink it anyway. In the end, personal taste is all that matters. To summarize, you are now informed on the basic knowledge of wine and wine and food pairings. I hope you find this information useful when choosing your next wine with dinner.